We're back to the Beach Lifestyle celebrity segment on the Total Tutor Network. TotalTutor.net for more information. Twitter, Total Tutor Neil S. Haley. Facebook. And really, I was talking off air to this guest, and he's a former New York Jet NFL player, played at UVA, and he's doing some great things with his foundation, so I thought I'd bring him on the program and see how our listeners can help his foundation. So I want to welcome to the program Tavon Mason. Tavon, how are you?
I'm doing good, Neil. How you doing today? Thanks for having me on.
Well, I'm fantastic. Again, we're getting back in the routine. School starts next week for my kids, for my one kid, and then my other the week after. My wife is back, teacher in services, so I have a quiet house. So I like that. The morning's not great being up earlier, but now it's quiet. So Tavon, I wanted to go specifically. Tell us a little bit of your background, and then we'll go right into your foundation.
Okay. Like we were saying off air, I was born and raised in Baltimore, Maryland. I'm the youngest of two kids, my mom and dad. I graduated from Woodlawn High School, and I was accepted a full scholarship to the University of Virginia. Was just like probably a lot of the athletes that's in the NFL was All-American coming from the state of Maryland, and actually coming to college was like my first time playing full-time in wide receiver position. So that was something new to grasp, because in high school I played all over the place, running back, quarterback a little bit, corner, safety. So really buckling down to one position in college, took a lot, learning the position and learning the techniques and the fundamentals of it. And going to UVA, was a great, got to play with a lot of great guys from Anthony Poindexter, Thomas Jones, Matt Shaw, who's in the NFL now. We talked about Heath Miller being one of my teammates, to getting a chance to, be with the Jets. So, and that's where my role led to.
So you played for the Jets, and then after that, it was life after football. And was it a surprise that your career was short? What was your thought process, or just things happen in the NFL? I hear about it all the time.
My thought process in it, I kind of buckled down and I got myself together from the jump. Like I know a lot of young guys can't take that. Like if their career do end early, they don't know how to accept it, so they kind of fall into like a funk. So you can say I kind of knew how the game worked, and just watching guys before me and hearing from other guys. I always thinking of another plan. I did get a chance to play in the indoor football league for the Baltimore Mariners in 2009, but afterwards it was just, all right, now it's time to buckle down and get stuff rolling. I didn't want to get caught behind the eight ball of not having a plan and being stuck for some years like some guys do in all the sports, and then they got to rebuild themselves up. So, I came back home, got into coaching, not directly for like a school or a program. One of my trainers has a facility, and I went up there and was helping a lot of the high school guys out, the receivers, and, still they were running routes for quarterbacks just to fine-tune them. So that's where I started when I came back home to life after football.
Well, Tavon, we all know it's a business now. Lots of parents want to see their kids go to college, play college football, or in the NFL. So they look at people like yourself. You're a pro football player. They want your experience. They want your coaching. They want you to say, this is how I got here. You're seeing that as a big business itself right now, aren't you?
Right. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like I said, I'm back at my high school. I've been coaching here like the last 3 years. And they definitely do. I have my parents and even friends that have kids that text me or Facebook me, and if you have time, can you come, help my kid out with either speed drills or catching or things like that. And the unfortunate thing with doing the foundation, also coaching here at my high school, it's kind of hard, to be able to get around to everybody to try to help them out. And I tell them, I wish I had the time to definitely come help your kid out, but it's just kind of hard with, my own requirements, things that I have planned already.
Okay, so Tavon, did you start the foundation when you were with the Jets or after you got back?
After I got back, I always had a vision of what I want to do. Even in college, I was going around down in Charlottesville, Albemarle County, visiting high schools. Even one of my cousins, their basketball team came down to Albemarle County. They played in a AAU clinic, and I talked to his team after the game. And even here, I went around talking to a lot of my friends that taught in the schools were asking me to come talk to their kids. So I got started with that. I started officially, made it a true organization in 2010. for my first visit to a pediatric hospital here in Baltimore, and I took a tour of the hospital, and got to meet some great kids that are going through some tough times for like surgeries, injuries. Can't do the things that like we can do or your kids can do, and are in these hospitals for like months. And after that, I still was trying to pinpoint what I wanted to do with the foundation, and I finally came up with it last spring. I wanted to get kids active, eating healthy, being healthy, and pushing the education piece.
So looking at the childhood obesity rate, and you're like, this is something I got to really get these kids active. It's just awful. So looking back.
Right, and one day I was in a school, and it was an elementary school, and this was kind of like triggered my mission to be that, to help kids get active and, host my own sports fit days. There was a young kid that was like 3rd or 4th grade, and they weighed the same amount pound-wise that me and you weighed. I mean, I'm like 190, and this kid was like already 180, 183 in elementary school. Yeah, and that's the same thing. My mouth just dropped, and I'm just like, it's not cool. This isn't cool at all. This is like what is going on. So in the spring of last year, 2012, I held my first sports fit day at one of the elementary schools in Baltimore City, where the principal allowed me to take over the entire school. And I brought in my college degree, some of my football jerseys, even like Jets pictures that I signed for them, and just told them about my life, but then pinpointed, the good things about eating healthy, and being active, and also the importance of education and taking school seriously.
So you're basically doing fit days. Is that what your foundation's doing, or you also have some after-school programs as well?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to formulate now and get to some of the schools. I'm trying to get to the point where I can get into the schools full-time. And it doesn't have just to be Baltimore. I want to start branching out to Maryland as a state, D.C. and Northern Virginia, to get into school full-time, because they're closing a lot of the recreations here in Baltimore, and the physical education classes are starting to drop also. So I wanted, to be an outside source to come in and give these kids what they need. This past May, I just did a sports fit day at one of the elementary schools in Baltimore County, and I had the luxury of having one of the anchors from Channel 2 News do a news segment on it, and it played on the news, and it's also on the website of me, doing different relay races, different things with the kids outside, and they loved it. It was a 5th grade class, and then after we took a break, and I sat the kids down, told them about myself, the reason why I started doing my sports fit days, and even writing my book that I just wrote, because it was based around, my dad passed a few years ago from a heart issue, and I know that's, kind of prevalent in my family, and I wanted to kind of like speak on why we should be healthy and start eating healthy for extending our life.
And one thing that we, my business partner and I are doing is we're trying to help feed kids, especially kids with the obesity issues. We have a health and wellness company, and that's one thing we're trying to do. So we'll have to definitely reach out to Tavon and see how we can help out. And also, he's part of another foundation called Mission G, so he's doing a lot of help. And one of his focuses is trying to eliminate childhood obesity. So he has the same goals as you, for sure, Tavon. I'm on the board, and so we'll have to kind of connect back through this. So your process is looking at the missing component. Oh, let's get rid of phys ed because we're worried about their academics. But these kids are playing video games all the time. They're not getting the chance to exercise, and they're eating horrible foods. And so you want to educate them, tell them about the dangers, but also tell them about the results of you being so active, right? That's another component of it.
Right, and that's the thing. I'm trying to get to the point where they're they do get a chance to be active and be kids. Just like you said, we all worry about their academics, but if we don't consider their health, they're not going to make it academically, because and I know that, starting off eating a good meal to start the day off, kind of like determines how the rest of their day is going to go. Another component, that I also added in, I held my own health expo here at my high school, because one of my assistants, she had said, Tavon, I know it's great that you're doing sports fit days in the school. You go around talking to the kids, and she hit me with something that kind of like made me stand back. She said, "But what are we going to do when the kids go home?" She said, "No, you can give them different literature on the good of eating good, but they still have to go home to where they're eating the processed foods, or the parents are just giving them whatever they want. And I was like, you're right. So I decided, let me put a health expo, my own health expo together. So I did my Tavon Mason Love the Kids Health Expo last summer, and I had, different healthcare professionals come out. I had a person that came from Mount Washington Pediatric Hospital from their Way Smart program, which is a program to help kids that's fighting obesity, to put them in a program, and their parents to teach them the right portions and stuff like that. So, I'm not only targeting the kids, I'm also trying to get through to the parents to try to change some of the food that they buy in the house, and change some of the things they do.
So it's a definite great mission you're on Tavon, to go out and do this. And how can our listeners help you out so that they can be part of this and donate to the foundation or help out in any way?
I just uploaded, started my website. They can go to www.TavonMasonLovesTheKids.org, and the website breaks down, they show all the pictures of me in the community, things that I do. They can donate if they want to. Even if they're in the area, they would like to come to an event, they can come out. I think another thing that I help a lot of families, my book, actually is an ebook that I just uploaded and is available on all tablets and smartphones. It's titled, former New York Jets wide receiver Tavon Mason presents the 60-a-day promise, a guide to a healthier lifestyle and family. And basically, the 60-a-day promise is trying to get families to at least promise me they do something for an hour a day that's active with their kids, to try to reunite the families, to do things together, and also jumpstart that, I call it that longevity or extended life. Is available on Nooks, Kindles, and iBooks, and I basically just break down what we were missing from what our tradition from our parents had. We didn't have all this technology stuff. It just get the kids outside for an hour, whether it's riding their bikes with them, throwing the ball with them, even walking with them, just to do something to get it started. Because my main thing was kids mimic what they see us do. So if they see us just come in the house and just sit down and plop on the sofa, they're going to do the same exact thing. But if they see us getting up, going outside, and whether it's something in the garden or walking around, they're going to follow right behind us. So I'm just really pushing that ebook so people can read. It's not an age thing. Some older people believe, you got to be in your 20s or your 30s to be doing some of the exercises. But no, I got different accounts in the book where there are people that's in their 60s that are still running miles. You know what I mean? So there's never an age cap on being active. So that's my biggest thing, other than going to the website, is people please just get out, at least for an hour a day. Get your kids moving for an hour a day so we can kind of attack that. We won't have deaths for kids at the age of 10, having high blood pressure.
Absolutely, Tavon, and I think we can definitely help you out in your foundation to try to get to those schools, to try to help in so many ways, and definitely talking to my business partner about it would be a great thing. So thanks for calling the program. We'll definitely get the word out. Everyone needs to check out Tavon Mason, and thanks again for calling, Tavon.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Neil. I definitely appreciate it.
All right, take care. All right, you're listening to the Beach Lifestyle Celebrity segment on the Total Tutor Show, and we'll be back in just a moment.